We're going to jump into a Patreon listener question. Once again, if you are interested in being part of the Transformer Slag Patreon, be sure to check the comments and the description below to come join us. We have all kinds of great little perks, a Discord, listener questions. Heck, you could even maybe get some gifts in the mail. Check out Patreon, patreon.com/Protoman, all the cool stuff. And hey, come support the podcast. Let me know that I'm doing, a half decent job at least. And let's talk about one of our patrons here, MassiveGains, and the question that he has for us. Hey, Protoman, I got a question for ya. With Kingdom going into the Beasts pretty hard, and for the first time since Beast Wars' original run, we're getting this many beasts. Do you think we'll ever see new G1 characters released outside of the staples like Prime, Megatron, B, Starscream, etc.? We know that they'll probably be popping up in Kingdom, but what about all the other G1 characters that haven't gotten that treatment yet? If so, I'd like to see what EarthRise figures have never been gotten around to, and which ones would have you liked to see done? Well, here's the thing, MassiveGains. Like, I feel that, and I've seen this in the past already with a lot of the other trilogies when they go into their new generation, whether it be like, EarthRise, before that with Siege, and then with the Prime trilogy, whether it be Combiner Wars and Titan's Return and Power of the Primes. I find that gimmicks, they still kind of linger around even though when you go into the next generation. And regardless of if they keep the gimmick around, like let's say like Titan Masters, and it still kind of sticks around a little bit as Prime Masters and stuff like that. It's the same thing kind of applies with characters. I think that Hasbro, while they're going to go heavy on the beasts, they're still going to keep putting in some new G1 stuff here and there just to keep that other base of the fandom happy. In a lot of ways that I feel Beast Wars going Transmetals was their way to kind of go, hey, G1 fans, here's a little something for you while we still stay true with what our new direction is. Now, we've already seen through leaks and stuff, there's a possibility that, hey, we're going to be getting a Voyager G1 Inferno from EarthRise Grapple. So there's still signs that what you kind of hope, what you kind of think will happen will probably be a reality, where we'll still get EarthRise-esque, I guess we'll call it at this point, but EarthRise kind of inspired characters into Kingdom that'll kind of it'll be in the Kingdom line, but it'll exist separately from it. And also, if ever that we learn more about that 1986 Studio Series stuff, that'll also kind of be something existing on the side of that. But that's more of a show accuracy thing, less of a different interpretation. But to answer your question, who would I like to see? In all honesty, the one, like, as much as I'm excited about Kingdom and I love Beast Wars and going into that, it's going to be very fresh and new and exciting. The one thing that I will miss going into that, and I kind of hope that it sticks around, I don't think it will, but is more MicroMasters. When we finished Siege and we were going to EarthRise, I was kind of worried that the MicroMaster thing might get dropped off, because I loved in Power of the Primes, I loved the Prime Masters or the decoy armors or the Pretenders, whatever you want to call them. I loved those. And that was just for Power of the Primes. It came and it went. It was a couple of waves and that's it. And when we went into Siege and we had the MicroMasters, I was kind of worried it was going to be the same thing. We're going to have a couple of them and then that'll be it. But they continued it into EarthRise. So I was quite happy with that. And considering that this is a trilogy, I would kind of hope that MicroMasters would stick around, but it really looks like it's not from what we've seen leaked. But I would like it if MicroMasters stuck around, because, I mean, I look at what we're going to probably have in the tail end of this, and it's not going to look really good for us MicroMaster fans. I mean, we had our recent, Hot House reveal, which anyone who listened to that segment just before, like, I wasn't really feeling it. I still firmly believe that they should have taken that Airwave mold that they turned into Hot House. They should have taken that Airwave mold and they should have turned into Flat Top, another MicroMaster base trailer kind of thing. And I mean, that would have been great. And I mean, even if they still can, if they could still take it and put it into this Kingdom series and have it just be one of the standalone deluxes that are weird on the side, but it would kind of offset the general theme as a modulator, and then do another 10-pack MicroMasters and give me MicroMaster Stormcloud as Flat Top's MicroMaster or something. I don't know. I would like to see more MicroMasters. to the point that, like, I mean, even if the space was available, like, I would love it if they just went, okay, well, what's left of the Micromaster bases and stuff? Well, you have like the larger ones like Ground Shaker and Skyhopper and stuff. So why don't you take the Voyager price point and do the modulator gimmick, but add a little twist on it, where the modulator gimmick, it turns into the vehicles and it turns into the bases, and it doesn't have to have a robot mode. And that could be the twist with the modulators being Voyager scale. And then you could bring in Ground Shaker and Skyhopper. And because it's a Voyager scale, maybe you can include a Micromaster with them this time around. You know, maybe, you know, it'd be more difficult to do, like, let's say, the larger ones like Countdown and Skystalker, because they're too big. But, you know, or maybe even it's too complicated to do, like, let's say, the trailers like Erector and some of them, because, you know, they're smaller and you would have to include a Micromaster, and that might offset the price point. But that's something that I would have liked to see. But I do understand from a business standpoint that they would be very weird to exist in that. And I think that everything that I've just said will probably exist more as you know, as much as people would hate to hear this, as a Generation Selects Hasbro online kind of thing. That would probably be the only platform where we'll be able to get that stuff. I mean, like, when we were like knee deep in Power of the Primes, we were getting all that like web exclusive kind of stuff to still fill out your Combiner Wars from 2 series before, like getting Blast Off or getting those Titan Return characters. Like, it's like Repugnus and everything. It's to me, that's where it's probably going to be. Granted, I could be wrong, because if this Inferno listing is correct, we will get some of those guys. But I don't know. It's a tough one. It's a tough one because we know still so little. All we're basing it off of is leaks, and it looks very Beast Wars heavy, with a small little, like you mentioned, Prime, Megatron, Beast, Starscream. Those are probably going to be the safe ones. RC, I think, is going to be in there too. But you're probably not going to be, like, you know, filling out, you know, your missing characters, going like, okay, well, who's left that needs to be done? You know, like, which 1987 characters haven't gotten, you know, some kind of modern interpretation yet? Are they going to get their toys? You know, we got Runamuck. Where's Roundabout? You know, like, is he going to be coming? And I say yes, but I think that if he does, either he'll be a very quiet addition to Kingdom, which I don't think they'll do, but I think it'll be more probably a Hasbro Selects kind of thing, or Generation Selects, because the reality is there's going to be 3 waves, maybe 4 max, for Deluxes and Voyagers and Kingdom, and they're going to use it for Beasts. They're going to make sure they hit all those key Beast characters and cover those bases, and then those iconic G1 characters for all those other places. It's hard to say, but we will see it. In my opinion, I don't think they'll drop off, but I think it'll be in different places. It won't be so much in Kingdom, but it'll be elsewhere. And if it is in Kingdom, it'll be very limited, because otherwise I just have my whole Micromaster thing that I just laid out there for everybody, because I would just love that. And then you have the rumors, that maybe the Ark is going to be the Titan thing, and then that's going to be a giant modulator in itself. So who knows? Maybe that's going to kind of stick around in a different way, but we'll definitely find out as time progresses. But let me know who you would like to see. Like, who would, of the G1 characters, we haven't really gotten a good modern interpretation of yet. I know some people are saying, like, let's get that Barricade from that, EarthRise Prowl now. Just finish off that quad, that quartet of characters and give us a Barricade. So, like, who would you like to see that EarthRise didn't really cover done before we go into Beast Crazy world? So, I don't know. Who would you like to see? Again, me, I'd like to see more Micromasters. Let's just finish some of those guys. There's so many. There's so many, and the play sets and everything. Just let me make a big giant city. That'd be really cool. But yeah, so once again, if you are interested in asking a Patreon listener question like the awesome MassiveGains over here, and being added to the scroll that you're going to probably see at the end here and everything, just be sure to go to patreon.com/Protoman and support the podcast. You can also check in the description or in the comments. That we'll pin it there if you can't find the link. Come join us. Have a good time. Join us on the Discord and enjoy the love of Transformers.